what is digital marketing.
Just assume that you're at your house, you're watching a cricket match on your television. What we will call with that advertisement is digital or non-digital. In India today, mobile internet consumption per day is 7 hours 42 minutes. YouTube has now become a game changer in all this connotation.
इंडिया में माइंडसेट कैसा है ना, मैं 500-600 रुपये मूवी देखने में लगा दूंगा, बट वो 500 रुपये का डोमेन खरीद के अगर वेबसाइट बनाना है, पीपल आर लाइक क्यों पैसे लगाओ भाई, इट्स वेस्ट ऑफ मनी. हाउ कैन समवन लर्न डिजिटल मार्केटिंग प्रैक्टिकली? क्योंकि थ्योरेटिकली बहुत ज़्यादा नॉलेज अवेलेबल है यूट्यूब पे, बहुत सारे फ्री कोर्सेज भी अवेलेबल है, बट जब प्रैक्टिकल चीज़ें सीखने की बात आती है ना, लोग नहीं सीख पाते. दे गेट इन टू द लूप ऑफ कंज्यूमिंग कॉन्टेंट. सो प्रैक्टिकली कैसे सीखें?
द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग इज
So guys, before getting started, please इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दो. इट हेल्प्स अस अ लॉट टू ब्रिंग बेटर गेस्ट, इंक्रीज द वीडियो प्रोडक्शन क्वालिटी एंड ओवरऑल आपको बेटर कंटेंट देखने के लिए मिलेगा. सो आज के पॉडकास्ट में हम बात करने वाले हैं अबाउट डिजिटल मार्केटिंग. बहुत सारे लोग मुझे बोलते हैं उनको डिजिटल मार्केटिंग स्टार्ट करना है, बट उनको पता ही नहीं कि डिजिटल मार्केटिंग होता क्या है. सो हम लोगों ने इसमें बेसिक टू एडवांस सब कुछ कवर कर दिया है. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ डिजिटल मार्केटिंग मास्टर क्लास. If you are someone who wants to make their career in digital marketing, this is the go-to podcast for you. इसमें आपको सब कुछ सीखने के लिए मिलने वाला है. एंड आज के पॉडकास्ट में हमारे साथ है डॉक्टर अमय, जो कि एक बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस प्रोफेशनल डिजिटल मार्केटर है, जिन्होंने अपनी पीएचडी भी कंप्लीट की है डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में. सो हम लोगों ने उनके साथ हर एक चीज़ को इन डेप्थ डिस्कस किया है. एंड वो बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस एंड कॉलेज को कंसल्ट भी करते हैं कि वो एआई को यूज़ करके कैसे अपनी प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज कर सकता है. एक्चुअली उन्होंने एक बुक भी लिखा है एआई टूल के ऊपर, एंड इट वॉज वेरी काइंड ऑफ हिम टू गिव मी दिस बुक. मैंने ये बुक पढ़ा, बहुत कुछ सीखने जैसा इसमें है. तो अगर आपको एआई के बारे में सीखना है, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के बारे में सीखना है, यू शुड गिव इट अ रीड. ठीक है, मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक डाल दूंगा, यू कैन चेक इट आउट. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड विद द पॉडकास्ट. Hi Amey, how are you doing, man?
I'm pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing great as well. So my purpose with this podcast is to give a complete roadmap to an 18 or 16-year-old watching this podcast who wants to start digital marketing, who wants to make career in digital marketing. So let's start from the basics. उनको एक complete roadmap दे दे जिससे वो step by step process follow करके अपना career बना सके.
Sure.
So let's start with what is digital marketing.
Pretty interesting question that you have raised up. See, first of all, we understand marketing as an advertisement, as someone or some brand, product, service, or an individual trying to promote themselves. Okay. Now, currently, if the media of that promotion and consumption, both of them are pretty important, is digital. When I say digital, I mean online.
Okay.
So, any sort of promotion is being consumed by an user via online. We are talking about digital marketing. Fair enough. So forget about whether it's traditional way of doing it, whether what type of content is being shared, what type of media is being roped in. If it is consumed via internet, it is called as digital. Now why that internet is important is something that we'll speak in the due course of time. I'll just give a couple of very interesting examples just to set the context right. Just assume that you're at your house, you're watching a cricket match on your television, and if there is an advertisement that comes in between, what we will call with that advertisement is digital or non-digital?
Digital.
Why?
Because it's on media.
No, but unfortunately that's a television electronic advertisement.
Right.
Now just assume same person, same match, but just watching that match on Hotstar, on the same TV. Now that consumption of that advertisement has happened via internet.
Okay.
So now we are talking about digital marketing.
Yeah. Okay, so any consumption done through digital or internet is known as digital marketing.
Right. Let's not mix electronic and digital. So let's focus on online or internet. If it is a media of consumption, I'm not talking about production. It can be produced. Like if I draw something on a piece of paper and I click a photo of it and promote it or share it on my social media, and if that something which I have drawn is a sketch of for promoting a particular activity that I'm doing. So I'm in a way doing the promotion for that activity online, while the production of that might have happened offline.
Yeah.
Okay. So wherever we are talking about consumption of promotion, consumption of promoted article, be it for a brand or service, or even for that sake for an individual, if it is happening via internet, then we are games for digital marketing.
Okay. So now let's discuss about the types of digital marketing.
Right.
Because my brother, he's in his first year of college,
Right.
and he's telling कि मुझे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में करियर बनाना है. तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि भाई तुझे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में एग्जैक्टली करना क्या है, क्योंकि डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इज अ वेरी ब्रॉड फील्ड. उसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ आती है. सोशल मीडिया मार्केटिंग आता है, पेड एडवर्टाइजिंग आता है, फिर परफॉर्मेंस मार्केटिंग आता है, ये सारी चीज़ें आती है. सो आई वांट द ऑडियंस टू नो कि डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के टाइप्स क्या है और वो किस में आगे बढ़ सकते हैं.
Before we jump there,
Yeah.
let me just put one very interesting point,
Okay.
so that we are understanding the logic behind the rationale that you are trying to put
Yeah.
forward. First, let me ask you this rhetorical.
Yeah.
Why do you think digital marketing is making such noise in today's date? What is your connotation for
Because the consumption, content consumption has gone up due to the rise of internet. Jio आ गया,
Right.
तो बहुत सारे लोग मोबाइल यूज कर रहे हैं. So people are not consuming content on TV or reading newspapers. They are
Absolutely.
consuming online. Yeah.
that? I'll just give you a few facts for this,
Okay.
so that we understand how big it has become.
Yeah.
Right? After, or rather, if we compare pre-Geo and post-Geo era in
Yeah.
India, the internet consumption, the mobile internet consumption has now grown 9 times.
Okay.
Not 9%, it's 900%.
Okay.
Right? Today we are getting almost close to a GB of internet at a very economical rates, and we are very fortunate to get such thing at a very nominal rates, and it is not happening across the globe.
Yeah.
We are the privileged one.
Yeah, I've
right?
done some research. In other countries, internet is very expensive.
Absolutely. Even in the developed countries also,
Yeah.
we are the privileged ones, right? Now, I'll give you a couple of more very, very interesting data, so that again we have the context right before coming to the types, and then you will be in much better position to consume ki why when I say, let's say social media is doing phenomenal, why I'm saying that, right? Today, I don't know whether you are aware of or not, in India today, average internet, mobile internet consumption per day is 7 hours 42 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty shocked to see this, because this is not only by youth, this is across the population and across the lengths and breadths of the country. Many of us do not even sleep that much.
Right.
Right? And today in India, we have more number of mobile phones than toothbrush.
Right.
That is again one context. Now, if you just put these puzzles together, now we are looking at a picture wherein we are almost close to 140 billion,
Yeah.
so and so, the number is still growing. And we have more number of mobile phones. We are becoming larger day by day. We are consuming so much amount of data. Now just imagine, if I'm consuming so much amount of data, how much data am I radiating?
Yeah.
Am I sharing so many details about me consciously or subconsciously? Is a completely different ball game. But if I'm sharing so much amount of data, obviously people like me who are doing digital marketing, it's a gold mine for us. We are
Right.
capturing that data. So much so that today all these so-called platforms, I won't name any, but because all of them are doing it, they are in the rush of eating and grabbing more and more data from you.
Yeah.
If I were to run a campaign today targeting, let's say, a person like you or with the demographics like you, I do have somewhere close to 400 touch points about you.
Right.
Not one or two, 400 touch points. Now with this, how much personalization can I get
Yeah.
through this? In marketing, we have all have learned or would be learning, our audience, about a theory called as STP, which is segmentation, targeting and positioning.
Yeah.
Okay, you take any segment, target it, and have your product positioned according to that segment that you have targeted. In that theory, with digital, we have also added one more P to it, which is personalization.
Yeah.
Because of it, what is happening today, I don't want a product to be promoted in such a way that I'm consuming it at a mass level. I want it to be presented to me the way I like it. And that has changed the entire ball game.
Right.
If we have this connotation right, now if I try to answer your question, obviously the medias that are running well are the medias which are grabbing maximum amount of your data, which is social media.
Right.
But on the contrary, which social media, that depends on you as a person, what you do on which social medias.
It depends on the age group as well.
Absolutely. Like for instance, let's say people who are in the late 40s or early 40s currently, they were the first users of Facebook.
Yeah.
So they are still possibly using Facebook. But people who are actually listening to this podcast, who are your target audience, possibly people who are teens days, they may not share the same code with Facebook. For them, it might be Instagram,
Yeah, Instagram.
or possibly Snapchat or any other for that sake. People who are working, people who have started their professional or they have something, they may resonate more with LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So it's a different set of things that we do. Twitter is in India, or X in India is also a different ballgame. So platforms wherein you as an individual are more content focused, you as an individual are consuming maximum amount of data bytes, are the one platforms where you see max ad. Now YouTube has now become a game changer in all this connotation.
Right.
Irrespective of age groups, irrespective of the length and breadth of the country, for the very simple reason that I am now becoming lazy.
Right.
Because I don't want to read. I'm okay in terms of watching a video. So irrespective of anything, age, gender, caste, demographics, whatsoever, this is consistent. Add one more layer to it. What do I do on my search engine?
Right.
It's again a different layer or a cross section to the entire demographic. Am I a person who likes to frequently do Google? Are my searches long tailed, as in, am I a descriptive person? Or for that sake, am I a user who does voice searches?
Right.
All these are different gamuts of things that help marketeers to understand your audience better. And with this, for a particular set of brands, we do promotions in that connotation.
So you are saying these platforms also record that data. For example, I am searching on Google long tail keywords and short tail keywords, and if we are doing voice based searching, that is also being stored.
Absolutely, it does. It does record, and that's the very reason why podcasts are becoming very popular
Right.
these days. Because it's not the fact that whether people cannot type or they are reluctant to type. It's just the nature of themselves.
Right.
It's the way they are, right? And here are the channels. Here there are medias, tools, platforms who are actually doing and working in favor of marketeers. See, eventually one thing you got to understand, and being a bit bold enough in saying it, all these types of platform, be it social media or search engine platforms, they are here to make money.
Right.
They are here for making money, and from where they are going to make money? With advertisements.
Yeah.
Today, I'm not sure whether you are aware of this or not, ki a very popular search engine like Google has a daily revenue which is almost equivalent to GDP of few countries.
Right.
Annual GDPs I'm talking about. At this level, all these platforms are working, and for them, data is like next oil. So they try to capture data as much as possible from the user's side, and they give platform for brands for promoting themselves. So it's a win-win for brands as well. It's win-win for these platforms as well.
So for someone who wants to start their career in digital marketing, how can someone learn digital marketing practically? क्योंकि theoretically बहुत सारा knowledge available है, YouTube पे बहुत सारे free courses भी available है. But जब practical चीज़ों सीखने की बात आती है ना, लोग नहीं सीख पाते. They get into the loop of consuming content. So practically कैसे सीखे?
The very first thing is start promoting yourself. Like for instance, as you said, ki there are abundant amount of courses that are available that will teach you how to make a website. Create your own website.
Yeah.
Again, I face this question कि खुद की website यानी क्या करूँ? I say कि you create your own CV.
Right.
Convert that CV into a website. The moment you have website, can you do SEO for that?
Yeah.
Yes. Can I create a Facebook page for that? Insta page for that? LinkedIn page for that? Absolutely, I can do.
Right.
Creating a website, creating social media pages, creating content like videos or posters or blogs, all these I can do it for my own self, A, or if I want to practice it, let me do it for some fictitious brands.
Right.
All these doesn't count for any money. Herein what will happen eventually is I'll be in much better position that I would have practiced so many things. The issue that I face, or the problem that I encounter wherever I speak about such things, and whenever, be it on my LinkedIn or be it anywhere, people come and ask the very same question, ki how do I start? And I repeat with the same answer, ki why don't you promote yourself? Why don't you create something like this? They get to, oh, okay, how do I do that?
Right.
The point is ki that leap of faith is something that you have to take. See, no brand is not going to approach you and give you a job on its own. It's you who will have to approach brands. And obviously today, unfortunately, there are plenty digital marketing agencies and even more freelancers who are absolutely created a chaotic marketplace in this world. Finding your own space in it and creating a differentiator for you is something that you will have to do.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is with mindset. क्योंकि इंडिया में mindset कैसा है ना, मैं 500-600 रुपये मूवी देखने में लगा दूंगा, बट वो 500 रुपये का डोमेन खरीद के अगर वेबसाइट बनाना है, पीपल आर लाइक क्यों पैसे लगाओ भाई, इट्स वेस्ट ऑफ मनी.
Right, that's it. And see, even I'll say, I'll go one step ahead. I had done this exercise with one of my set of students. I said, if you want to learn Facebook advertisement or Google ads, I'll teach you how to do it.
Right.
You try it out. And everyone was like, how do I try it? I said, okay, all these are keywords. This is the brand. This is the website. Create your ads.
Right.
And they were puzzled by the same point, who will going to give me money? I said, minimum amount you can put is $40. Can't you just put that much?
Right.
Can't you trust yourself? But there is that, I don't know what should I call it, but due to lack of better word, I'm calling it again a laziness.
Yeah.
People are reluctant in taking that step. And I'm like, don't you trust yourself?
Right.
Don't you trust that these $40 that you're putting in will give you something? And on the other part of it, you are ready to spend somewhere close to 10x of that in watching something or doing something which you don't like.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, I give them this corollary that I had this couple of one web workshop that I was doing, and there were a few 100 students who were participating in it. I had asked this very same question, and the guys were like, how should we do it?
Right.
I said, how many of you are Netflix users? So there were a bunch full of hands that they told me that they are Netflix users. I told them, do you even know what you should watch on Netflix? They were puzzled and completely stumbled about their question. So I gave them Netflix says somewhere close to 67% of you who are Netflix users do not know how to and what to watch on Netflix.
They go and binge.
Right. They don't even binge. They just scroll.
Okay, yeah.
They scroll and scroll for whatsoever time, and they end up not knowing what should they do and spend time in it.
Right.
And for such users, Netflix had to come up. I'm not saying Netflix came up. I'm pretty clear on using this word that Netflix had to come up with a tab called as Surprise Me.
Okay.
So on Netflix, if you don't know what to watch and you are just jiggling here and there, you will see a Surprise Me tab. And if you click, based on your past behavior and your choices, Netflix decides a video and it starts on its own.
Right.
Then I gave them this corollary, look at how pathetic your lives have become.
Right.
You're spending so much amount there and you don't know what to consume, and you are actually outsourced your decision making to these platforms, and these platforms are taking decisions for you.
Right. I receive the same question because I create content on freelancing. So people are like, I've learned a skill, but I'm not getting clients.
Right.
And they are like कि बिना client के portfolio कैसे बनाऊं? And जब तक portfolio नहीं तब तक client नहीं आएगा. It's like a chicken and egg situation. तो मैं वही उनको बोलता हूँ कि learn a skill, do an internship और build a project side by side.
Absolutely.
क्योंकि you can't learn anything by watching videos. जब तक आप practical इसको करते नहीं हो, you don't know that कि problems क्या होती है. आपका skill commercially viable है कि नहीं. तो वो सारी चीजें होती हैं.
And all those who are really interested in doing internship, they are more than welcome to join me.
Right, right. हम लोग सर का email डाल देंगे. You can email.
More than welcome.
So now let's talk about digital marketing again. आपने बोला कि बहुत सारे freelancer और agencies आ गई है. And बहुत सारे लोग जो start कर रहे हैं उनका यही है कि they are like कि this space is very saturated. अभी clients नहीं मिल रहे हैं. तो what do you think about it?
फिर से वही reason है कि when people are not ready to accept in terms of people who are coming into digital marketing. The world or the digital marketing space or even this word comprises of two things, which is digital and marketing.
Right.
Many of them, I will say majority of them, are glued by the fact by digital.
Yeah.
I do something, I can see, I can measure, I'm so and so forth. And this jump in their mind, this adrenaline is so much that they tend to forget the second word which is there, which is marketing.
And that's very important.
That is the core of it. Right. Like for instance, there was this era wherein digital marketing was popping up. Coming is the era wherein possibly it might be get replaced with AI marketing.
Right.
But if you don't have the stronghold on this marketing aspect, this digital might be just a flare in your mind. Right. So you have to also understand, are you a good storyteller? Are you a person who understands brands, who understands products and has that appetite to shout it out to everyone?
Yeah. And do you think these skills can be learned or it's already there in a person?
It's both ways. Like
Okay.
for instance, learning will help it to nurture it to a particular level, but you can't bring it out in a random person.
Yeah.
Right? I come from a philosophy wherein I believe strongly that marketing is no longer about the products you sell, but the stories you tell.
Right.
So if it is about the stories that I'm gonna share, if it is the perception that I'm gonna give, digital is just the media vehicle which carries my message from myself or my product to my users. It is just a media vehicle.
Yeah, I am asking this question because बहुत सारे लोग creativity को कोई magical formula समझते हैं. They are
Can't
like
be.
कि हमको कोई हम I am a very creative person and मैं creative इसलिए मैं procrastinate करता हूँ. But I think creativity is also a system कि
It is a process.
आप proper system और process के through जाओगे तो ही आप long term में sustain कर पाओगे. नहीं तो you will be like भाई मैंने एक thumbnail बनाया अभी मैं 3 दिन procrastinate कर रहा हूँ फिर 3 दिन के बाद एक thumbnail बनाया.
Another part to it, कि it is such a instant gratification world that we are
Right.
living in, कि you want it to be like if I did something, अरे likes कम हो गए.
Right.
We are in this world, but again, digital is one adjective just that you are using for marketing.
Yeah.
And marketing is eventually at its nutshell is a process.
Right.
And it is, even if you agree or do not agree, it's arts, it's science, and it's commerce as well. Marketing is an amalgamation of all these three things.
Yeah.
Even if you may have one component of it, and if you don't have another two components of it, you are lacking in it. You got to have all these three components together to have something called as a marketing as a foundational skill. Then only you can top it up with digitalization or any other adjectives that you may
so to
want.
conclude it, stick to the fundamentals, learn about marketing and then learn about digital marketing because many people are like कि मुझे fancy बनना है इसलिए मैं digital marketing वो term use करके वो लोग को fundamentals ही नहीं आते.
Right.
What is the fundamentals of
Like for
marketing?
instance, I'll give you a very, very interesting connotation or an example for that. Let's assume we all are promoting, let's say a product, let's say a pen that we are promoting. Okay. Now in today's date and time, even if you don't know what that pen does, I'm okay with it.
Right.
But today you got to know what all things, the features, the stories, the way people perceive it, the way people fascinate about it, whether it's a brand that people vouch for it or whether it's a brand that people are like, okay, don't care about it.
Yeah.
All these connotations, if I'm able to grab in, if I'm able to understand, then only I'm going to present that product in front of my people, the targeted people, in much better way.
Right. Because Indian people are very emotional. They are very attached to stories. Ki,
A is that, but I've done marketing for all across the globe. But I feel eventually stories are something that connect with everyone.
right.
It's just the way you narrate might be different.
Yeah.
But like for instance, if I ask you, which television ads do you remember? And you will find, let's say, few Fevicol Pidilite ads or few Cadbury ads and few others that you can remember.
Yeah.
Now, what you remember in those ads are the stories.
Right.
And during those stories that you remember, you had found a product bhi tayar hua hai.
Yeah.
Right? That has been the entire graph of these promotional campaigns. My issue with digital marketeers who are forthcoming is what I said, ki they tend to ignore on the fact that marketing is a fundamental thing in it. And second is also one very interesting factor that I have realized recently, that they feel that their job is done the moment they see data.
Yeah.
यार एनालिटिक्स आ गया किसी भी एड का या किसी भी कैंपेन का या फिर फॉर व्हाटसोएवर दे द मोमेंट दे सी एनालिटिक्स दे आर लाइक देयर लाइफ इज completely they have achieved nirvana. But on the contrary, as a digital marketer, your job starts when you see data, when you see statistics. And I've seen people who are like, I want to be digital marketer, but वो graphs वगैरह मेरे को नहीं समझ में आता. I can't deal with numbers, I can't deal with data, I can't deal with stats. So unfortunately, accept the fact of life. This is not for you.
Yeah.
Right? बहुत सारी चीजें दुनिया में करने जैसी वो करो.
So now let's talk about AI. So for a person who has no idea about AI, how would you explain AI?
I didn't had any AI background per se. I'm an electrical engineer. Then did my MBA marketing and then went on to do marketing campaigns. In no true connotation of it, I have never learned any computer language.
Yeah.
But I call myself a AI user than a programmer.
Right.
Okay. So if you ask me from my perspective, what is AI? definition wise, AI is a technology which mimics human actions. So any technology that is mimicking human actions or trying to learn from human and trying to replicate it is a part of AI world. Just giving a couple of examples so that you understand the logic behind it. We all are using mobiles these days. All these mobiles have face recognition or fingerprint recognition. Every time for almost, let's say, a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, the duration wherein we use mobiles, our this face doesn't remain the same.
Right.
It keeps on changing. Like for myself, I do have I keep clean shave many of times, but I fancy my chances on the try with different shaves. I try with different specs at some points. If I'm outside, and try different goggles. I have different ways in which I present myself. But in all such cases, my phone recognizes me very quickly. Who has told it? From where did it learn?
Right.
I never put the phone in front of me for hours and hours together and made sure that the phone is capturing so many photos of mine.
Right.
So it is learning on its own, right? It's learning on its own and trying to detect my face at whatever possible points of time. From there to take a very simple example again from mobile's case, that a few years before, whenever you were outside, you had to control your brightness manually.
Right. Now
Right.
it auto sets it.
Who's setting it?
AI.
It's not you.
Yeah.
Not the God. Someone is doing it. Someone in your phone is taking care of your eyes. That someone, that technology is also needs to be accounted for. When you open your YouTube, you find content which is relevant to you.
Yeah.
When you open, let's say, your music app, you find songs which are completely sync with your mood at that point of time.
It also creates a playlist. For example, the
My
number of songs
likes,
added.
or for instance, right? Who is doing it? Definitely not you are doing it, right? From that perspective, to anywhere that you look at, everywhere you will find that there are technologies which are creating. Now all these were your individual personal life experience. Similar experiences are there in terms of your industries, different manufacturing plants. There are different sets of things that are happening. All these things are trying to understand and work for you. Wherein, if you remember and recollect, I had talked about personalization.
Right.
This is where this technology is being rampantly used. So a technology which is being created that tries to mimic human actions. Now when I say mimic human actions, I mean mimicking sane human action.
Right.
That is something that is being connoted.
How do you think AI is changing the marketing space?
Pretty interesting. Again, as I said, ki AI is changing predominantly because, again, as I said, data that is getting captured is phenomenally growing.
Right.
And you need technology to work on that data. Second connotation is bit philosophical, but I think our audience will capture it in true space of it. Today, if I were to tell you, whenever you see few advertisements around you, let's say be it hoarding, be it newspaper article, or be it television ads, or be it for that sake YouTube ads, your mind recognizes it as a consciously that these are advertisements.
Right.
With AI, the thing that is happening, that the content that is getting created is hitting you at your subconscious.
Right.
Right? And subconscious is somewhere close to 7/8 of your mind share, not 1/8, 7/8. Now this 7/8 portion of your mind share, which is your subconscious mind, today's advertisers, marketeers are targeting you and hitting you at that particular space, right? In this case, what is happening? Advertisements do not look as advertisements.
Right.
They look as facts. They look as news. They are often being consumed as simple data.
Right.
And that's where the game of marketing has changed. The user majority of the time doesn't even understand कि someone has marketed something in front of them.
Yeah, क्योंकि इंडिया में ये करना बहुत ज़रूरी था, क्योंकि इंडियन ऑडियंस कैसी है, दे आर वेरी रिलेक्टेंट टू मार्केटिंग. अगर उनको कुछ बेचा जाता है तो दे आर लाइक बेच रहा है.
That's what I'm saying. कि and hence in this particular spectrum of things, you need content, which looks like content
Right.
and not as an advertisement. And that's where this germ of AI is helping marketeers in
Right.
terms of creating content which is dynamic, targeted to personalized users, understanding their past behaviors.
राइट सो पहले इतना टारगेटिंग पॉसिबल नहीं था, अभी एआई के आने के बाद हम लोग स्पेसिफिकली बहुत नीशली टारगेट कर सकते हैं लोगों को.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like for instance, even you can create campaigns which are individual centered.
Right.
Again, based on your need, your appetite, and your pocket.
Right.
You can certainly create that much.
बट डू यू थिंक दिस विल टेक जॉब्स ऑफ मेनी एडवर्टाइजर्स? बिकॉज अभी मैंने
Absolutely
नोटिस
not.
किया कि फेसबुक पे अभी हम लोग एड्स रन करते हैं ना, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली टारगेट ऑडियंस वगैरह सेलेक्ट कर लेता है.
फिर से I'm saying कि if you ask me whether it will take jobs of advertisers, my answer is no.
ओके.
Because again, I'm coming back to the same point. For me, advertiser or a digital marketer is a person who understands digital and marketing.
या ओके.
If you are a person who is not a mixture of both these components, unfortunately, according to my mindset, you are not a digital marketer.
ओके.
So, for a person who has a marketing brain and also a digital mind, can find jobs, and if I were to give you a rhetorical, will find new more opportunities in this world, because now you can create this at a very alarming space.
या.
Where it has hit actually, and it has started hitting a lot for amateurs, wherein they are not able to understand the need of the product or the brand, or for even for that sake an individual.
राइट.
If they are not able to capture कि यार marketing क्या करूँ क्या इस चीज़ का promotion, unfortunately AI तो है, या फिर और any technology that comes up is going to eat you up.
Yeah, so you want to say the marketers who are able to bring results for the client, who are able to...
Again, depends. I'm not framing it in such a way. I'll give you a different example so
sure.
that you will again possibly understand it. Let's say a few years back, let's say 5-6 years back, or even for that sake 2-3 years back, not only in India but across the globe, aerial photography was one of the most challenging, dynamic, skillful jobs, and
What
hence
is aerial photography?
people used to go in helicopters and
Right,
take
okay.
right. So that those aerial photographers were highly paid across the globe. They were the ones like their skill set were amazing. It called for physical,
Right.
mental challenges, and so on and so forth. There was a small technological evolution that happened which impacted these people drastically, called as drones.
Yeah.
Right? Then what had happened because of it? A drone would cost somewhere like 1/5 of a aerial photography, one assignment.
Right.
So people were ready to purchase it. Today now you have AI based mobile application which can fly drone on its own,
Right.
will understand wind speed, will understand the angles, the heights and everything, and will take photos based on its preset settings.
Right.
Now what has happened to that individual who was doing aerial photography? His job would have remained still better if that individual is now able to capture photos way more, far more better than the drones.
Yeah.
My point is the same over here. If for instance today there is AI based targeting that happens on Meta platforms or on other few platforms, if I were to call myself as a digital marketer, do I know my consumers' nerves way more better than that targeting that happens on AI? If so, I am a chosen one. I am a much better person. Now, what do I deliver is a completely different ball game based on the level at which the brand is, the amount that we are spending, and obviously the objectives of that campaign.
But the people who would be able to do this is less than 10% because...
The number may not be that much as well.
Yeah. So what do the remaining 95%
Learn marketing.
do?
Learn marketing.
Okay.
Means the issue which I feel for it and the concern that I feel for it, that without, like for instance, all these players now, all these newly mushroomed digital marketers, they keep on saying ki I can only do ads on Insta, I can't do ads on YouTube.
Right.
For me, I take it in that way. If you are a batsman, can you say ki I'll only bat with one bat?
Right.
It's not up to you, na.
Yeah.
You can't choose your bowler. The same way, you can't choose where to work and what to work. You have to understand the game in such a way that you will be in much better position that if I have this skill set and if I get this brand, what best can I deliver?
Right. So when you say you have to learn marketing, you are trying to say you need to learn the fundamentals and you need to learn all platforms.
Yes, you have to be.
Okay.
Because again, today, you as an individual are not omni-channel.
Yeah.
You are going to be on a different platforms all the
Right.
time. You're not going to be completely lured up to a one single platform.
So what about this advice कि बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं कि you have to niche down, एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे काम करो और एक सर्विस ऑफर करो.
One at a time is fine. I'm not saying don't do, like for instance, don't do multitasking like एक विंडो पे LinkedIn है, एक विंडो पे Instagram है, एक विंडो पे YouTube कर रहा हूँ.
Right.
That's not. But in today's date and time, unfortunately, if you're a digital marketer, you can't survive if you're not master of all trades.
Yeah.
You have to be master of all trades because brands are looking out for a integrated marketing campaigns, 360 marketing campaigns, and not for a single channel approach.
Right.
Because the users are not remained single channel. It can't happen. Like the first is a multi-channel approach. Second, you can't say ki I'll do only content, I won't do graphics.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not a world. If you are digital aspiring digital marketer and wish to work in agencies or with brands, today most of the companies are looking out for a single person resource.
Yeah. Generalist.
Right. So it is not a specialist but a generalist, and that generalist can work with outsourced teams and get the things done.
Yeah. Either you have to be hyper good at one skill or you have to be a generalist.
But even if you are hyper at good at one skill, it is not on the account of that you don't know other.
Yeah.
You have to know other things and you can be better in one.
Right.
But aware means non-knowing of all other parts of world in digital can't give you one better things in other. Because if you know a bit of digital marketing theory per se, you will be in much better position to relate with me with this sentence that even if you do something good on one platform, your other performances on other platforms are also going to be better.
Right.
Because all of them are integrated. And if you now say ki I'll do only one channel, I'm not going to do other channels, you are restricting other windows of opportunity for coming to your brand.
Is this important for a person who's trying to get a job, or is it only important for a person to do business?
Both.
Okay.
If your person is who is wishing to start his career or her career in that sake, you have to first of all understand that company or the management doesn't give anything about your perception.
Yeah.
Right? So for them, whether you do it on platform A or vis-a-vis platform B, they don't care.
Right.
For them, it's like ki whether my objectives are being met or not. Getting my point? If you were to start your business, then it is way more exaggerated because you can't choose your clients.
Right.
Right? You can't choose your client and you can't dictate the terms that if I get a client, I will only do ABC.
Right. Right.
The reason why you can't do it because there are so many others in line who are ready to do A to Z.
Yeah.